What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a 2005 Honda Pilot all-wheel drive. We're going to be putting a head gasket on it. I'm going to walk you through step by step. This is actually a Pilot that me and my wife actually bought for pretty cheap. It actually blew a head gasket and just sitting in the yard idling. More than likely the fans ain't coming on. I'll test them later. What we're going to do is we're going to first thing we're going to do is we're going to jack this thing up and see if we can get the crank bolt broke loose. That's the hardest part about the job that I'm thinking is, because you know how these Honda crank bolts are, they're real hard to break loose. Other than that, this darn thing's real nice and clean inside. So this should make a good ride for us. If this head gasket don't hold, I will end up having to put a motor in it, which that will be at a later date. These are all set up like the Honda Odysseys. They got to come out the bottom. You cannot get these motors out the top. You just don't got enough room. But let's cut to the chase. We'll jack it up. We're going to take this wheel off over here and see if we can hit this crank bolt real fast. So give me 1 second. I actually had to put the hood down a little bit. The building I'm in right here ain't really high enough. I got some stuff from the other bay. So we continue jacking it up. If we get this crank bolt broke loose, we need to undo the bolts from the catalytic converters, front and back, and try to get that crossover pipe the fuck out the way. Once that's done, you can actually let it back down, and you can leave that tire off if you want to, and just let it down as far as you can, that we can get up in there better, and we just work up top. All the work is up top, so 5% is down below. Alright guys, here's the crank bolt I was talking about. So we're going to try it out. Sometime this Hercules gun I've been using has been real good to me. And some Harbor Freight Hercules Ultra Torque. Whitings roll off. Got a deep impact 19. Let's see what it does. Took it right out. Most of the time, this gun has been taking them out for me. So, that job's done. Now, next step is, I'm going to go and put a little tile under here that I can get my jack out. We're going to get the torque converter bolts out. Not torque converter bolts. Sorry, guys. Ooh, I got to put an axle on this thing, too. Okay. And the sway bar is broke. Okay, things you see. Sway bar link's broke. That's fine. So, this thing actually rides pretty good. I took it down the road. It runs down. It actually runs good with the blown head gasket. The oil's not mixing or nothing. It's just pushing the water. But anyways, we're gonna catalytic converter bolts out, guys. And that crossover pipe down there below, which is right there. The big U in it. Then we're going to let it back down and go up top, do everything up top. Alright guys, sorry for the lighting. Need a 14, got 3 14s right here in the front cat. Right through there you got 3 more. If yours has this crossover bar right here, it's actually a brace that protects the differential. These are 14s also right here. Take that off. Get this whole pipe out the way. Yours probably ain't gonna have. Yours ain't gonna have no aftermarket converter on it. But this one does. If the bolts break, just get new bolts. But get that out the way, and we can just go back up top in a minute, guys. So once you get this shut the way, everything's up top from here on out. Alright guys, once you get the pipes off, I didn't disconnect it back down the back. You can just let it hang like this, and it ain't gonna hurt nothing. You can clearly tell which head is blowed. It's gonna be the front one right here because it's wet, full of antifreeze. The other one coming off the other cat is dry. You look up in the cat, it's dry. This cat's soaking wet, so it blows in the front head. So once you get apart, the front head will be the one we really pay close attention to. You really don't have, you don't have to change both head gaskets, but it'd be stupid if you don't. So we're going both of them and call it a day. Alright guys, since you're up top now, make sure you unhook your battery. I tend to forget sometimes to the last second. I done did so many vehicles, I haven't had no issues, but unhook your battery, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get the intake manifold off. Fairly easy. Get your air box, unhook all your wires, map sensor, intake temperature sensor, purge valve right there. Get this hose right here going to your brake booster. This little hose right here. This one right here can tend to be brittle. Tens right here. After you get the tens, you should have 12s underneath. I'll show you that in a second. But intake manifold, we're going to get it off. The serpentine belt will have to come off too. Should be a freaking tensioner down in the bottom. The tensioner is hiding right there. It needs to go towards the firewall to release the belt. This job I'm doing actually works on the Honda Odyssey, the Ridgeline, any J series basically. They're all the same. On the newer J series, you got more sensors in the head and shit. But this is a J35 A1, or it might be the A2. I can't tell right now. I know I'll get the heads off. But anyways, intake manifold. Then we're gonna get the serpentine belt off. Power stem pump, we're gonna go ahead and get it out of the way completely. Then we're gonna get the wire harness off the engine, flop it over. The head should be coming off here shortly. It ain't really nothing holding these motherfuckers on. So, one second, guys. Like I said, pay close attention to where your wires go. Right here, you got a coolant line comes underneath the throttle body. It comes up here. Then it whacks back there. You can unhook it here. You got another one right there. You can unhook. That clamp down there is tucked the other way, side to side. So unhook it up here. You got this has an electric throttle body on it. Unhook that. Get all your connections off. Once the intake manifold is out of the way, we got a big hole. We can look down in, and we'll go from there, guys. All right. If I did everything right, everything should be off the intake. Should be no other bolts hiding anywhere. Got the hoses loose right here. Little punch valves loosened up. Go ahead and take these bolts out right here. And out it comes. So you look down in there. Here's the top plenum. Take your bolts, put right there. This gasket you can reuse. I will end up changing all the gaskets up top. At a later date, we'll make a video about that. Right now, we're just putting head gaskets on it, see if it holds. If it holds, we'll go on and put the rest of the shit on it. Down here in the valley, we got 2 10s here. 12, 12, 12. Make sure there was a 12 for y'all. 12. Take all these out and the whole plenum will lift up. We'll go ahead and hit these 12s and this 10s I said it was. those two tins actually hold down the oil bevel thing right here. So let me get it out here. It usually comes out there. There it goes. This is actually your EGR port. When the EGR kicks in, goes through this hole. I don't know if you can see. Goes through this hole and then it pushes it out. It's clogged like a son of a bitch. Planning to do an EGR delete on this thing eventually. This is gonna be like for cruising around, but I like to do upgrades to a motor anytime I can. This gun is actually working today. In the previous videos, it quit working on me. I mean, it's a gun off the markdown table. You get what you buy. Alright, all the bolts are out of it. Let me go put these on the table back here. We should be able to lift up on it now, the whole intake manifold. Out it came. And the gasket is stuck to the bottom of it, which is a metal gasket. You're fine. We got this little special plate that comes out with it too, which is right here. Just like that. Don't get your gaskets mixed up. Brand new intake manifold gaskets are on it. Looks like they tried to put intake manifold gaskets on it because they thought that's what the problem was, but it's actually both head gasket. So there's that right there, guys. I'll get y'all a close-up view in a second. Alright, intake manifold's off. Now look at the gap, the big hole you got now. There's two ways to get this fuel well off. We'll get to her in a minute. But as you can see, what I like doing is you got bolts right here. Got one nail and one there. You can feel it with your finger. I believe they're 10s. You can go through here and get them out. You gotta take the fuel well off to get your well harness out. The Plenum whatchamacallits right here, you can keep them on. You can pull the heads off of these things on it. I recommend, if you don't got the gasket set, don't take these off and the heads off, because you will tear the gaskets 90% of the time. But anyways, fuel well, you can unhook it here if you want to. What I do is I just trace the wire back, the line back all the way to here. Take that 12 out right there, unhook it here. Whole fuel well, line, injectors all come out in one piece. Get your whole well harness off in a second. We're gonna work on this. Get start from right here. Start undoing wires. Basically, it goes down to O2 sensor. Unhook all this. Come around to your alternator. Unhook your wires from that. We're gonna get the power stem pump off. Get out of the way because we gotta have room for the timing belt. We will be putting this thing at top dead center in a second. But yes, like I said, let's see here. This one might. It don't. It might. Hold on one second, guys. All right, found something new out while I was working on it. Not all of these have this. This pilot does. Computer sitting right here. So we're gonna be cheap. Unhook both of these wires right here, and we can pull the whole harness this way and flop it over there, because this harness goes to your part of your injectors right here and your coil packs. So that's good. And this piece right here, it wraps this way and then around. So bear with me, guys. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this freaking power stem pump out of the way to make even bigger of a hole. Like I said, it's a 14 right there on that freaking pulley. push it towards the firewall. You get your serpentine belt out of the way. Then you can turn the pump a couple of times and you can get to 3 12s. 2 12s, my bad guys. 2 12s holds the pump on. Get the pump all the way out your way. Like I said, right doing that pulley right there. I can't do this with both hands. There's actually some play in this freaking socket I got, but you push on it. See? You get the belt off just like that. The belt is off. Yes, I got some transmission fluid on it. Ain't like I can't take some brake clean and clean it up. But get the belt all the way out the way. We'll go down the wheel well in a minute and work right down the wheel well. Like I said, I just caught it low. I want to get this thing as low as to the ground as possible. That way we can lift these heads out of here. You ain't breaking your back. Then we're going to take 2 12s. Get the pump out, 2 10s. We're just going to set the whole pump to the side. Alright guys, power stem pump's out the way. Right there, that little blue connector. There's a cam sensor right there. Thankfully on this one, you can actually unplug it. The 3 O's and some of the early models, that plug is actually inside the timing cover more. The little tin right there, get that off for the wire harness. Because now you can see how the wire harness wraps. It just sits down in there. This little wire right here. That little wire right there goes to the knock sensor down in the valley. We're gonna hit this 10 right here. There's plenty of self-explanatory, guys. I can't sit here and show you every single freaking connector. I mean, just look at it. You can clearly see my light above my head's messing up for some reason, guys. Guess you can unhook your wires right here. Just get all the wires off the top of the motor. Unhook one wire from your alternator. Leave the hot wire. The hot wire is going over here. Hot wire is going right here and hiding. The one you got to unhook is the square connector. If I can show y'all, right there. Unhook the square connector and go from there. So I'm gonna work on getting these wires off. And after the wire harness is out of the way, we're gonna get this fuel well out of the way. And the timing belt, that'll be probably last. We might take this cover, we gotta take the black cover off, but the metal bracket behind it on both of them might have to come off to get the heads off. I don't know yet, but we're fixing to find out. Like I said, the J series are all the same, but they vary on different years. Alright guys, got the fuel well, the fuel line unhooked right here. You got a little safety clip sits in there like this. This green thing bends over it. Well, it's kind of brittle, but that's what it does. You get an 8 here, 8, 8, 8, 8, and the fuel well will come out. But you hit this 12 right here, which I already loosened up. Alright, this one's been a little tight. We take this one out first to get off the stud. If it's too tight, you can't budge it. Take this 10 out right here. Another part of the fuel line. I wanted to take it out in the whole assembly, but it ain't gonna let me do it today. Just be very careful with your O-ring. Replace that. We're going back together. Alright, the fuel injector well is out. These front injectors right here, actually all the injectors are stuck in the head. So I had to play with it a little bit, but I got them out. Over here, go ahead and undo your hoses. These 2 hoses right here. You got 2 heater hoses back there in the back. Get that undone. We're gonna get this whole bracket right here off. So you got a 12. You got a 12 here, one underneath it. Got one here underneath it. And there's 3 of them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 5 bolts right here. This whole thing will slide off. But the jiggle off this O-ring right here for the thermostat housing. And once that's out the way, go ahead and take your valve covers off. The valve cover, take your coil packs out. It's gonna be a T40. T40, get your coil packs out. You can leave the plugs in, get the coil packs out, and then take your valve covers off, guys. So once the valve covers are off and that's off, I'll be back to the next step. Time belt will be last. We'll put it up top dead center. We're just going to slide the belts off to pull the heads off. There's an O-ring right there. You take it out of this and it will come right out. So it didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. Supposed to came out right here. This piece supposed to stay in there, but fuck it. It's out of the way. Now I can get the valve covers off. And the heads will be off here in probably a couple minutes. Alright guys, this is what it looks like if the valve cover's off. Like I say, you can clear which head's blowed. This was more wet than that one. So, while you got the valve covers off, you can see your caliper converter bolts. You got 412s on this one, 412s on that one. Just unbolt them and let them hang. I'm gonna come over here. Let's see, what the fuck? I think, yeah, I got one bolt. I gotta take out this alternator right here on top. It's connected to the head. It's a 12, right? Not that one, but the next one down is a 12. Get that off, but we'll get that in a minute. Let's get the caliper converters undone, and you can see all the head bolts right here. These are 12 point. Actually, these are not 12 point. These are 6.14s. Damn, I hate those type of head bolts. But that's the type we're going to be putting in it. So, try not to step them out, guys. Good luck. Alright, guys, caliper converters are off. Just let them hang that in there. That back one's tight. As long as you got one stud that's sticking out, that get stayed in the thing. For some reason, my back one, it pulled the studs out. It was a pain in the fucking ass. But just, when you pull the head off, be careful. When you put it back on, be careful. We can go ahead and get all these tins on the timing covers. We can get this thing at top dead center. Like I said, I'm just going to slide the timing belt off. Then I can go ahead and get the heads off. And I'll charge my camera and I'll come back. It'll be like a second for y'all. But it might be the next day for me. Before I put it back together. Alright guys, timing covers are off. When you take the harmonic balance off, I don't know if y'all can see, it's an arrow right there and right here. Line that arrow up on the bottom. When you come up here, make sure number 1, right here, it shows number 1, and the line is lined up this line. And back on the back, you just got a line. A big line and a little line. So, somebody's put a timing belt on it. Somebody put a Gates timing belt on it. So that's good. But I'm going to take that little pulley off down there. I'm just going to slide the belt off. And I'll do the timing later. So, after this is off, we should be able to see if we get the heads off. I still got to take that one bolt out the alternator. Alright guys, timing belt's off. Very carefully, I already took one of them out. These are 14s, 6 point. Gotta have a good socket. You will strip these bitches out. You strip them out, you'll be cussing. I'm gonna go ahead and get all these out in the front, and we should be able to pull the head off. Should be able to, if I didn't forget anything. Alright guys, moment of truth. Got all the bolts out. Word of advice, use the Impact 14. It don't flex. And put it right here in the tripod and pull the bolts out and lift it up. Alright, let's see if this head comes up out of here. This is the front head. And out it came. I don't know what that was that dropped, but we'll find out in a minute. Head gasket fell down in there. But here's the head. You can put my bits in here. Uh-oh, getting all everywhere. Alright, got the cylinder heads on the bench. Here's the back one, here's the front one. Back one's cleaner than the front one because the front one was blowed. I'm old school, guys. Yeah, it's supposed to send the heads to a machine shop, but you can do your own inspection to save you money. You can take a flat edge, basically a flat ruler, make sure it's flat, and just go across and just lay it straight down the head like that. If you don't see no light, under it, you're good. Check it in multiple spots. Check it there. Check it this way also. Check the head in multiple places with your flat edge. Take your hand and just rub and see if you feel any rough spots. This little black stuff right here, and you get all that shit off. That's gasket material, get all that off. Like on this one right here, you can really see it baked on there. You can feel it. You don't want to feel nothing, guys. You take a little bit of Scotch-Brite and very easily and clean it up. You don't want nothing to dig into these heads. Like I said, I'm old school. I've done this multiple times and it works. If the vehicle is really overheated, you put the flat edge on it, you see light, the heads are going to have to go to the machine shop, guys. I'm going to clean these up, and I'll be back to you when I'm putting this head back on the vehicle. Give me 1 second. I went ahead and put this water jacket pipe back in the back of the water pump. The gasket that came in the gasket set was actually too little. I don't know why they done that, but I will use the O-ring right here. Put some grease around it and stuck it in there. If it leaks, I can always unbolt this and pull it back out. No big deal, but hopefully it don't leak. So we'll find out once we get together. Same with the cylinder heads, guys. With your head, the block, I'm sorry. Rub your hand across it. Make sure you don't got nothing on it. Clean it up real good. Wag, little Scotch-Brite. And there you go. Clean out the water out your cylinders the best you can. Get most of the water out your cylinders. And go from there. So, you'll see me putting the head back on the motor in 2 seconds. I got the head gasket on the back bank now. When you get the head gasket down, make sure everything lines up. You don't got no holes blocked off or anything. Make sure everything looks right, because you don't want to block off none of these oil valleys. You don't want the gasket to be upside down or whatever. So the back one's on, and we're going to see if we can get the back head on it. We want to have a smooth transition. We don't want to have no wiggling around or nothing. You want to go rocking down here. I'm not quite on there yet, guys. So just bear with me. Hard to hold that head. Very heavy. Alright, I got the head down on there. I actually cheated. I couldn't see the dowel pins from the back to line it up. So I took 2 of the new bolts and put 1 on each side and guided it in the front that I can see to line it up good. So I'll take these bolts back out. We're going to put some white lithium grease on the threads. And then we're going to torque this thing down. Torque spec's going to be 21, 52, and 72. And then additional 90-degree turn because we got the updated bolts in it. Like I said, white lithium grease. Putting the threads of the bolts. You can also put motor oil also, but white lithium grease has always been good to me. We're going to spread it all around the bolts, then put the bolts down the head. Alright, this back head is kind of awkward, so you can't really see what you're doing. So you just kind of one right there. You kind of know where they go, you know what I mean? So put all the bolts down the head, then we're going to run them down in a minute. We're going to run them down, and then we're going to torque the shit out of them. Alright, we're just going to snug these down with the ratchet gun. That's all we're doing, just snugging them down. And we're going to do the torque. Of course, my gun's dying. So, we'll be back in a minute. We'll be back in a minute when I torque them down. Alright, the first step is 29 foot-pounds. We're going to work in and then out. I'm actually looking at my other phone over here. That way I can pay attention better. So one's right here in the corner. That's 29 right there. Number 2 over here in the corner. Bear with me, guys. I'm looking. It's a very tedious job. Five, 6 over here in this other corner. I got 7 right here. Alright. Then 8, the last one over here in the corner. Now you repeat that step. You repeat that step 2 more times. The next torque spec, the next time you go around, is going to be 51 foot-pounds. And then you're going to step it up to be 72 foot-pounds. Since these are the new bolts, we're going to 12-point bolts. You're going to do additional 90-degree turn on the last round. So I'll be back in a minute once I get it torqued down, then we're going to do that 90-degree turn. Alright guys, I got it all torqued down to 72. I'm going to go back over it one more time. Make sure it's 72, then we're going to do our 90-degree turn. Alright, 90-degree turn, here we go. Alright guys, he's tore it down. So just reverse the process. Put everything back together, intake manifold and wise. Do the same thing to the front head. And I will see you back when we're putting fluid in it. When we put fluid in it, and we're going to see some cranks and runs and no more smoking. Alright guys, I got it all together. Except for the L box. I left the L box off on purpose. That way I can check for leaks. I had to change, I think this is what blowed the head gasket. The thermostat housing, the little thing that comes off right here for the bottom end of the hose was so corroded up it was leaking right there around that hose. But everything else together on it. Really got to pay attention to these hoses going to your intake. Got bolts. I still got to bolt this down. But power steering pump might line because I got to get some power steering fluid. But I done got some antifreeze in it. Everything's together on it, and we're going to find out what happens. So, hold on. One thing clamped right up, guys. So that belt's squeaking. I'm going to have to change that belt. We're going to smoke a little bit. Hold on, I forgot to plug up the temperature sensor. I forgot to plug up the temperature sensor over here. I changed the thermostat housing, so I'm going to hook the battery for a second. Thought to check engine light will clear. I don't feel like going in and get my scanner to clear it. And we'll crank it back up, let it run for a while. Seems to be running fine. Seems not to be skipping. But it does need to warm up, do a good warm-up cycle. And we'll go from there, guys. You're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. And there will be a part 2 of driving this Pilot down the road. But make sure you like and subscribe. This 05 Honda Pilot. So far looks like a successful head gasket replacement.